In the affluent suburb of Hartbridge, the lawns are edged, the driveways are smooth, and the silence is rehearsed. To the neighbors, Colin and Tessa Grayson had it all. A modern colonial on the corner lot. 2 cars, no kids, no noise. But inside that house, behind the blinds Tessa never opened, something was rotting, and no one noticed. There was no police report, no 911 call, no bruises, just a missing name on a mortgage, a locked bank account, and a woman who went quiet before she disappeared from the paperwork entirely. This is the kind of story no one reports, because it doesn't look like a crime, but it is. It's legal erasure, emotional foreclosure, and it begins with a woman in a window, watching the man she married laugh with the woman who replaced her.
It didn't happen all at once. Not like you'd think. One day you're signing the mortgage together. The next, your name's just gone. He used to leave notes for me. Little things, missed you today or dinner at 7. But that stopped. Then it was passwords. Then my credit card. And I didn't say anything, because when you're in it, it just feels like maybe you're overreacting. You want to believe it's a rough patch, not the beginning of your erasure. And then came the silence. The kind that sits at the table with you, watches you from across the room. He'd talk about refinancing, but never with me. I was just there, like part of the staging. The window, that became my space. I'd sit there in the afternoon, not looking for anything, just trying to remember who I used to be. I think that's what hurts the most. Not the betrayal, but how much of myself I gave up just to make the marriage look whole. I saw him 2 doors down, with Kelly. He didn't even hide it. He laughed, touched her shoulder, like I wasn't standing right there behind the glass. And maybe that's when it clicked. This wasn't love. It was debt. Emotional, financial, strategic. So I stopped grieving, and I started writing. This time, I'll be the one who erases him. Coercive control is a form of psychological abuse that's often invisible to outsiders. There are no bruises, no police reports, but the damage is no less real. It begins subtly. Financial dependency, social withdrawal. Often, the victim doesn't even realize it's happening because the abuser reframes control as protection. I'm just managing the bills. I'm just worried about your safety. And over time, the victim begins to doubt their own instincts. In Tessa's case, the erasure was legal, gradual, contractual, but it's still violence. It's psychological occupation. And for women like her, especially those who gave up careers, who trusted the financial structure of marriage, the betrayal is doubled. Because it's not just the partner who fails them, it's the system. And the emotional aftermath, it's grief. For a self that's been overwritten, for a version of life that never existed. But the fact that she documented it, that she started collecting evidence, that's not paranoia. That's survival.
You ever work your ass off for years and come home to someone who looks at you like you're the villain in your own house? That's what it became. Every time I walked through that door, tension. No matter what I brought home. Groceries, flowers, deals. It was never enough. Tessa stopped working. That was her choice. But she kept spending like she had a paycheck. And I was supposed to just smile and sign off on everything? No. I protected us. That's what men do. I moved some accounts, streamlined the mortgage, took her name off a few things, not out of spite, out of necessity. You ever try refinancing during a market swing? Every credit point matters. She wouldn't get that. She just saw control. But I call it planning. And Kelly, she was just someone who listened. Someone who didn't accuse me every time I breathed wrong. If something happened between us, which I'm not confirming, it was personal. But Tessa, she turned it into theater, into a victim narrative. I didn't hit her. I didn't scream. I paid the mortgage. I paid for her car. And this is how she thanks me? You want to call that abuse? Then we're redefining the whole word. Some people don't know how good they have it until the locks change.
I never really talked to Tessa. Not until I saw her watching. I knew that look. Not jealousy, not curiosity, recognition. Colin's charm was calculated. He wasn't warm. He was effective. He made you feel like you were on the inside of something. Like if you just stayed quiet long enough, he'd let you in deeper. But he doesn't let anyone in. He isolates you, slowly. One day you realize no one's calling you back. Your bank login doesn't work. Your apartment's in his name. And when you ask questions, he disappears. Or worse, he tells you you're crazy. There was a night I went to the ER. Panic attack. Heart racing. They put a bracelet on me. It's still in my drawer. I kept it to remind myself that I wasn't imagining things. When I saw Tessa at the window, I almost turned away, but I didn't. I let her see me seeing her, because someone has to. He's done this before. I just hope she ends it before he starts again.
By the time Tessa began documenting what was happening, most of it had already been erased. Not from her memory, from the records. Her name wasn't on the deed. Her access to joint accounts, gone. The financial documents that once came in the mail never arrived anymore. But this isn't the story of a woman who disappeared. It's the story of one who started paying attention. And then she found it. A folder she wasn't supposed to see, tucked between insurance forms, unlabeled, unnoticed, until now. What was inside? She hasn't said, not yet. But she didn't throw it away. She kept it, cataloged it, made copies, dated every page. Because when someone tries to erase you, proof becomes your last form of identity. Some bruises don't show up on skin. They show up on statements, on silence, on the face behind the glass. This isn't over. Next week, the folder opens, and what she finds inside could bankrupt more than just the marriage. This is just how the contract begins.